At first glance, the 2010 P Roosevelt dime looks like every other dime that has passed through countless hands across the United States. Small, silver-colored, and often ignored, it seems like just another coin you'd find in your pocket or stuck at the bottom of a change jar. But what if I told you that some examples of the 2010 P Roosevelt dime have been discovered with extraordinary features that push their value in a staggering heights at auction, with recorded sales ranging from $42,500 to as much as $268,000. That's the kind of story that transforms a simple 10-cent coin into a life-changing discovery. TO understand why the 2010 P dime holds such fascination. We first need to step back and look at its origins. The Roosevelt dime has been a fixture of American coinage since 1946, created as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. Roosevelt wasn't just a president who guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. He was also deeply connected to the fight against polio, championing the March of Dimes campaign that helped fund research and medical care. To honor his contributions, the dime was redesigned to carry his portrait on the obverse, with the reverse showing a torch of liberty, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing peace and strength. Designed by John R. Sinek, this iconic imagery still appears on the dime today, including the 2010 issues. By 2010, dimes were being struck in massive numbers at multiple U.S. mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint, where the 2010 P dime comes from, produced hundreds of millions of these coins for circulation. Normally, such high production would mean the coin is common and worth only its face value. But here's where the magic of numismatics comes in. Errors, varieties, and unexpected circumstances can turn an ordinary coin into something rare and incredibly valuable. Among collectors, the fascination with the 2010 P Roosevelt dime lies in its error coins and special varieties. When a coin is struck with mistakes during the minting process, those errors can create unique and collectible treasures. For example, one of the most desirable types of errors is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions or portrait show noticeable doubling caused by misalignment during the die preparation process. Imagine looking at the word liberty or in God we trust on a 2010 P dime and seeing it doubled. It would instantly stand out as unusual and highly collectible. Another category of errors involves off-center strikes. These occur when the blank planchet, the flat piece of metal meant to become a coin, isn't properly centered under the die during striking. The result is a dime with part of the design missing and part of the blank metal exposed. Off-center errors can range from subtle misalignments to dramatic, eye-catching mistakes that collectors are willing to pay thousands for. Then there are proof errors. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors using polished dies and planchets to create sharp details and mirror-like finishes. While the 2010 P dime is a circulation strike, collectors have found instances of coins with unusual finishes or mismatched dies that mimic proof qualities. Some even display missing mint marks, die cracks, or weak strikes that elevate their rarity and value. Now imagine finding one of these rare 2010 P dimes with such an error. At first, it may seem insignificant, just another coin mixed in with change. But once examined and authenticated by grading services, such coins have shocked the coin-collecting world at auction. Bidding wars erupt, collectors compete fiercely, and the final prices soar far beyond what anyone could have imagined for a 10-cent piece. That's exactly why the 2010 P Roosevelt dime has seen auction prices ranging between $42,500 and $268,000, depending on condition, grade, and error type. That lets paint a picture of what that experience might look like. Picture yourself sitting in an auction room. The lights are bright. The crowd is buzzing with anticipation. The auctioneer introduces the coin, a 2010 P Roosevelt dime, authenticated, graded, and identified with a rare mint error. The bidding starts at $10,000, and instantly the room comes alive. One bidder raises their hand, then another. The price climbs past $25,000, then $50,000. Before long, it's at $100,000, and the tension is electric. Two bidders lock horns, unwilling to back down, their determination driving the price ever higher. Finally, with the crack of the gavel, the dime sells for $268,000. A coin that was once worth only 10 cents is now worth more than most houses. This is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. The blend of history, chance, and discovery. The 2010 P dime is part of the modern era of U.S. coinage, but it carries with it the possibility of extraordinary value thanks to the rare errors and variations that slip through the cracks of even the most precise minting processes. For collectors, owning such a coin isn't just about money. It's about holding a piece of history, a piece of mystery, and a piece of art all rolled into one. The condition of the coin, known as its grade, is also crucial. Coins that are well preserved, showing little to no wear, naturally command higher prices. A mint state or proof-like error coin from 2010 can easily leap into the six-figure range. That's why collectors and dealers alike emphasize the importance of coin grading services, such as PCGS and NGC, which authenticate and certify coins, giving buyers and sellers confidence in their rarity and condition. But here's the most exciting part. You might already have one of these treasures without realizing it. Rare coins don't always come from dealer shops or expensive collections. They often appear in ordinary places: loose change, old coin jars, inherited collections, or even rolls of coins from a bank. That's why coin experts always encourage people to check their change carefully. You never know when a dime like the 2010 P might appear, and if it does, it could be the discovery of a lifetime. The 2010 P Roosevelt dime also reminds us of the hidden treasures within modern coinage. Many collectors assume that only older coins, like 19th century silver dollars or early 20th century gold pieces, carry extraordinary value. But modern coins, too, can surprise us with their rarity. The fact that a coin as recent as 2010 could sell for more than $250,000 proves that treasures can exist in any era. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you dismissed a dime as pocket change? How many times have you tossed it into a jar without looking at it closely? That tiny coin could hold the key to an incredible fortune. It's not just about money. It's about the thrill of discovery and the joy of realizing that something so small can carry such immense value. Collectors often share stories of their finds. An overlooked dime that turned out to be rare, a coin inherited from a relative that shocked appraisers, or a chance discovery in circulation that changed their lives. And each story adds to the allure of coins like the 2010 P Roosevelt dime. Because for every rare coin already discovered, there may still be others waiting to be found. So, what should you do if you come across a 2010 P dime? First, take a closer look. Check for unusual doubling, missing mint marks, off-center strikes, or anything out of the ordinary. If you suspect you have something rare, consider having it graded and authenticated by a professional service. And remember, even small differences can mean huge changes in value. The world of coin collecting thrives on stories like these. A dime minted in 2010, less than 2 decades ago, has already proven it can capture the imagination of collectors and command prices that rival rare antique coins. That's the power of minting errors, rarity, and demand coming together. The next time you see a dime, don't just think of it as 10 cents. Think of it as a potential treasure. Because somewhere out there, a 2010 P Roosevelt dime has already changed someone's life by selling for as much as $268,000. And who's to say the next one won't be found in your change? Check your coins, examine your collections, and always keep an eye out for the unusual. Because with coins like the 2010 P Roosevelt dime, the line between ordinary and extraordinary is just one small error away. And if you're lucky enough to find one, it could be worth anywhere between $42,500 and $268,000, depending on its condition. And that's the mystery and excitement of coin collecting. Hidden treasures are out there, waiting to be discovered. The question is, will you be the one to find the next 2010 P Roosevelt dime that makes headlines and leaves collectors in awe? Imagine holding a dime in your hand, just a tiny piece of pocket change that most people overlook, a coin so common that it barely gets a second thought. Now, picture discovering that this same dime could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, enough to change your life in an instant. That's the incredible story behind the 1992 P Roosevelt dime, a small but mighty coin that has shocked collectors and auction houses with jaw-dropping prices, sometimes selling between $27,000 and $129,000. The story of this dime is not just about money. It's about history, rarity, and the thrill of hidden treasures waiting to be uncovered. Appreciate why the 1992 P dime is so special. We need to step back and look at its roots. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His face was chosen for the dime as a tribute to his leadership and to his tireless efforts in the fight against polio. The March of Dimes campaign, a movement he inspired, helped raise money for polio research and treatment, forever tying Roosevelt's name to the coin that still carries his image today. The obverse, or front side, of the dime shows Roosevelt's profile with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, the year of minting, and the mint mark, which identifies where the coin was struck. The reverse, or backside, features the famous Torch of Liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. This design, created by John R. Cynic, has remained largely unchanged for decades, making the dime both familiar and iconic. Now let's jump forward to 1992, when the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Roosevelt dimes. With so many struck, you might assume that every 1992 P dime is ordinary, worth only 10 cents. But that's where the story takes an unexpected twist. Not all 1992 P dimes are created equal. In fact, some contain rare varieties and mint errors that make them worth a fortune. Collectors are always on the hunt for these unusual dimes. One of the most coveted is the so-called close AM variety. In this rare error, the spacing between the A and the M, in America, on the reverse, is closer than usual. Though tiny, this detail is a striking indicator of rarity. A 1992 P dime with this error becomes a treasure for collectors, and when authenticated by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, it can fetch extraordinary sums at auction. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Other mint errors can make a 1992 P dime even more valuable. Consider a double die obverse, with a design on Roosevelt's face where the lettering appears doubled because of a die misalignment during minting. To the untrained eye, it might look like a blur or shadow, but to collectors, it's a jackpot. That off-center strikes are another error type that collectors adore. When the coin blank, or planchet, isn't correctly centered under the die, the resulting coin shows part of the design missing, with blank metal exposed. Depending on how dramatic the off-center strike is, such a coin could demand thousands of dollars. Then there are proof-like errors or weak strikes, where the coin doesn't strike fully, leaving faint or missing details. Even small die cracks, cuds, or missing mint marks can transform a common coin into something rare and valuable. Imagine being the person who unknowingly spins or receives a 1992 P dime and change, never realizing it might be one of these rare errors. Stories like this fuel the excitement around coin collecting. Because while the U.S. Mint produces coins with careful precision, mistakes happen. And when they do, they create treasures hiding in plain sight. Auction houses have seen the magic of these little coins firsthand. Picture the scene. The auctioneer presents a rare 1992 P Roosevelt dime, authenticated and graded, with a clear error that sets it apart. The bidding begins modestly, but the tension quickly builds. Collectors raise their paddles eagerly, unwilling to let such a rarity slip away. The price climbs past $20,000, then $40,000, then $75,000. Finally, after a fierce bidding war, the hammer falls, and the coin sells for an astonishing figure, sometimes as high as $129,000. The room bursts with energy, and the story of that dime joins the ranks of numismatic legend. What makes these coins so valuable isn't just their rarity, but also their condition. A 1992 P dime with a rare error, preserved in pristine mint state condition, is far more valuable than one that shows signs of wear. Collectors and investors alike seek out the highest graded examples because they know that condition can mean the difference between a coin worth thousands and a coin worth hundreds of thousands. Now think about this. How many people have casually spent or received a 1992 P dime, never realizing they might have held a treasure worth six figures? That's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know what might be hiding in your pocket or in that old jar of change at home. The 1992 P Roosevelt dime is a reminder that modern coins, even those minted in the last few decades, can still carry incredible value. Some collectors assume that only ancient coins or those from the 1800s are worth serious money. But the reality is that even coins struck in the 1990s can command staggering prices when they feature rare errors or varieties. This dime also symbolizes the beauty of numismatics, the intersection of history, art, and chance. Every coin carries a story, the history of the time it was made, the artistry of its design, and the quirks of its production. When you add the element of rarity through mint errors, that story becomes even more fascinating. Collectors often share personal tales of discovering rare coins in unexpected places. Some find them in inherited collections passed down by relatives. others in rolls of coins from the bank, and some simply in everyday pocket change. Each discovery fuels the dream that there are still treasures out there waiting to be found, perhaps even in your own possession. So, what should you do if you come across a 1992 P dime? First, examine it closely. Look at the reverse to check the spacing between the A and M in America. Look carefully for doubling, off-center designs, or anything unusual about the coin's details. If you suspect you have something rare, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. This not only verifies the coin's rarity, but also protects it and establishes its market value. The fact that coins like the 1992 P Roosevelt dime can sell for anywhere between $27,000 and $129,000 at auction is proof of the value collectors place on rarity and condition. And these aren't isolated sales. Auctions repeatedly see fierce bidding wars over coins like this, confirming that the demand is real and ongoing. Think about how extraordinary this is. A coin minted for everyday use, intended to pass from hand to hand in grocery stores, vending machines, and parking meters, can become a prize collector's item worth more than a luxury car. It's the ultimate reminder that treasures are everywhere, often in places we least expect. And that's the suspense and thrill of coins like the 1992 P Roosevelt dime. Hidden gems are out there, waiting to be discovered by sharp eyes and curious minds. It could be in your pocket right now, or in a roll of coins you grab from the bank tomorrow. The only way to know is to look. So, as you think about this remarkable dime, remember the lesson it carries. Never overlook small details, because small details can carry immense value. This coin, ordinary on the surface, has sold at auction for breathtaking amounts, with prices ranging from $27,000 to $129,000, depending on condition and rarity. Now imagine yourself as the next person to make that discovery, holding a dime that could change your life. That's the magic of numismatics, the endless possibilities and the chance to uncover history, art, and value in the most unexpected places. So, check your coins, examine your change, and don't take any dime for granted. Because who knows? The next 1992 P Roosevelt dime that makes headlines might just be sitting quietly in your pocket right now. Imagine picking up a dime from your pocket, tossing it onto a counter, or slipping it into a vending machine without a second thought. It's just 10 cents, right? But what if that ordinary-looking coin was hiding a secret? What if that dime was worth not a mere 10 cents, but tens of thousands of dollars? This is exactly the case with the elusive and rare 1999 D Roosevelt dime, a coin that has shocked the numismatic world with jaw-dropping auction prices ranging from $19,950 all the way up to an astounding $179,000. How could such a small, everyday coin command such wealth? The answer lies in its history, its design, and the rare mint errors that have turned this dime into a hidden treasure. To understand the importance of the 1999 D Roosevelt dime, we first need to revisit the story of the dime itself. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. Roosevelt was beloved not only for his leadership during World War II, but also for his tireless fight against polio. His connection to the March of Dimes campaign made him the perfect figure to be immortalized on the dime. Designed by John R. Cynic, the coin carries Roosevelt's left-facing portrait on the obverse, accompanied by inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, the date, and the mint mark. The reverse features the torch of liberty, symbolizing freedom, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength and independence. By the time 1999 rolled around, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for more than 50 years. Most 1999 dimes minted at Denver, bearing the D mint mark, were struck in the millions and entered circulation as ordinary pocket change. However, as coin collectors know, not all coins are created equal. Rare minting errors, varieties, and high-grade examples can turn a common coin into a prize worth a fortune. And that's exactly what happened with certain 1999 D dimes. So, what makes the 1999 D Roosevelt dime so rare and valuable? The answer lies in the unexpected mint errors and the condition of the coins that have surfaced. One of the most intriguing varieties collectors look for involves double dies. When a die is misaligned or strikes more than once during the minting process, it can leave a doubled image on the coin. On the 1999 D dime, this could show up as doubling on Roosevelt's eye, the lettering of liberty, or even on the date. Such doubling, once confirmed by professional grading services, makes the coin extraordinarily valuable. Another error type that fascinates collectors is the off-center strike. Imagine a dime where part of the design is shifted to one side, leaving a blank crescent of metal visible. The more dramatic the off-center error, the rarer the coin becomes. For the 1999 D dime, even a slight off-center strike can boost its value dramatically, while an extreme one can send bidding wars into the tens of thousands. Proof errors and missing details are equally enticing. Sometimes a coin can have weak strikes, where parts of the design appear faint or incomplete. Other times, the mint mark might be missing entirely, a mistake that dramatically increases a coin's rarity. Die cracks, cuds, and clipped planchets are additional varieties collectors eagerly seek. These imperfections, while accidental, become treasures because they are so scarce. But errors alone don't tell the whole story. The condition of the coin is just as important. A 1999 D Roosevelt dime that has circulated and shows scratches or where might still hold some value if it has a rare error. But if that same coin is found in pristine mint state condition, shiny, untouched, and graded highly by professional services, it becomes a true gem. Coins graded MS67 or higher are particularly rare and often the ones that reach staggering prices at auction. The thrill of this coin lies not only in its rarity, but also in its accessibility. The 1999 D-Dime wasn't a special release. It wasn't limited to collectors. It was mass-produced and entered everyday circulation. That means anyone could unknowingly possess one of these rare treasures right now. It could be sitting in a coin jar on a kitchen counter, tucked away in a drawer, or even lying unnoticed in your pocket. That's the suspense that makes stories like this so captivating. The idea that you might already hold a small fortune without realizing it. Auction houses have witnessed this excitement firsthand. When a rare 1999 D Roosevelt dime crosses the auction block, the energy in the room is electric. Collectors know how few exist in high grades with rare errors, so bidding is fierce. A coin that starts at a modest $5,000 can quickly soar, crossing $20,000, $50,000, even $100,000. At its peak, one of these remarkable dimes fetched a staggering $179,000. Imagine the shock of the person who discovered it, likely starting with what looked like an ordinary dime, only to watch it become a life-changing treasure. Why do collectors pay such extraordinary sums for these coins? It's not just about the metal. It's about the story, the history, and the rarity. Coins like the 1999 D dime represent mistakes that slipped through the minting process, and once discovered, they become part of numismatic lore. Owning one means holding a piece of history, a tangible reminder that even in a world of machines and precision, accidents happen. And those accidents can create treasures. Collectors also know that the market for rare error coins is strong and only growing. As more people take up the hobby of coin collecting, demand for rare pieces increases. That demand drives up prices, making coins like the 1999 D-Dime not just collectible, but also valuable investments. Now imagine the possibilities. You check your change from the grocery store or sort through a roll of dimes from the bank. You notice something unusual, a slight doubling in the date, an off-center design, or a shine that suggests uncirculated condition. What if that coin is one of the rare 1999 D Roosevelt dimes worth thousands, or even over $100,000? That's the thrill coin hunters live for, and it's why stories of rare dimes keep inspiring people to look closer at their change. The 1999 D-Dime also serves as a reminder that even modern coins can carry immense value. Some people assume that only ancient coins or those from the 1800s are worth collecting. But the truth is, coins minted as recently as the late 20th century can hold treasures too. The 1999 D-Dime is proof of that. For collectors, the advice is clear. Pay attention to the details. Look for double dies, off-center strikes, weak strikes, and other anomalies. Preserve your coins carefully, and if you think you've found something rare, submit it to a professional grading service for authentication. The difference between a coin being overlooked as pocket change and being sold at auction for six figures is often just that verification and proper preservation. And here's the most exciting part. The numbers don't lie. The 1999 D Roosevelt dime has sold at auctions for breathtaking amounts, with prices ranging from $19,950 to an incredible $179,000, depending on the condition and the rarity of the error. That's right, A dime worth just 10 cents in everyday life could be the key to a life-changing windfall. So, the next time you come across a dime, don't dismiss it as ordinary pocket change. Examine it carefully, because history has shown us that treasures often hide in the most unexpected places. The 1999 D dime is living proof of that. Somewhere out there, more of these rare dimes are waiting to be discovered, and one of them could be in your hands right now. Check your change. Look at your coin jars. Search those rolls from the bank, because the next incredible discovery could be yours. And remember, the coin you think is ordinary might just be the one that changes everything. The 1999 D Roosevelt dime is more than just a piece of metal. It's a mystery, a treasure, and a reminder that extraordinary value often hides in plain sight. With auction prices soaring between $19,950 and $179,000, this little coin stands as one of the most exciting finds in modern numismatics. Will you be the next lucky person to uncover one? Only time and your pocket change will tell.